Hey everybody, welcome back to episode number 30 of Samp&Chance. I'm your host, Bobby Sampson, and joined with me, as always, my man with the master plan, Mr. Chance Michaels. Chance, how are you on the first day of summer and the longest day of the year?
I'm doing absolutely wonderful, man. How you doing?
Doing great, man. It's a little cloudy. It feels like spring, but you know what? I'm okay with it. Apparently, like we were talking off air, we're going to get into the 30s finally this weekend, so people will start to complain it's too hot.
Yeah, exactly. We're never satisfied in BC with the weather. Too much rain, too hot, too cold. But I love the hot heat, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I like the heat too, but I also kind of like this. I mean, it's about 2021 here in Vancouver right now, cloudy, but you know what? It's comfortable. I like it,
Yeah, I don't mind this heat. It's a nice
right?
temperature.
You know,
T-shirt
100.
weather.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, as always, before we start the show, everyone, please take a moment to click and subscribe and join us on our journey here. It's the more that we get the support from you guys, the more we can do amazing stuff and create better things as we go along and as we grow. If you don't know where to find us, just go to our Instagram page, Samp_Chance, and there you'll find our bio tree, and you can link us up to anywhere you want us to find, wherever you want to find us. Um, so yeah, we got that. Anything to add there?
Share, as always, share it. Forward it to your friends, your mom, your grandpa, your grandma, your aunt, your uncle, whatever you got.
Yeah,
Share it, please.
no, 100%. All right, so before we get started here, Chance, let's take a minute to acknowledge the passing of two referees from our childhood and from our teenage years as well. Earl Hebner died at the age of 73 last week, and he was ill for a while. I mean, there were some pictures posted of him near the end there, so he was kind of, we were kind of expecting to see him go. Earl was involved with that match with Andre the Giant, the Tuesday night's main event. Remember that? Where
Yeah,
they had the two Earl Hebners.
that was funny. Is Earl Hebner the most famous ref ever?
I mean, from that time, probably just for the fact, from WWE, I guess him, Little Nate would probably be, the guys that come right to mind. Jimmy Coderas also comes to mind as well right away for me.
Yeah, he's more on
Uh,
the Canadian scene, but I think if you talk to your average wrestling fan, I think Earl Hebner is probably the most recognizable ref, almost like the Hulk Hogan of refing.
I don't know how to comment on that. To be honest, I don't know if he is or not. I don't know if referees have that following. Maybe we need to talk to a referee and find out, like, who do they kind of look up to. That'd be an interesting conversation.
We know a couple refs.
We know a couple of refs. Maybe we should bring them on and talk to the referees and find out, from their process and how it works and everything. That'd be kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, it's a different perspective, right?
Absolutely, man. Hey, there you go. Samp&Chance coming with ideas on the fly. Um, Also, Timmy White. He was basically Andre the Giant's carekeeper.
Mm-hmm.
Took care of him and everything, and I think he ended up having to retire. He got injured in a match. I think it was a cage match or something. I can't remember who it was. Yeah, he hurt his hand or something. He took a bump. I
I
don't
never heard that.
remember. Yeah, I'll look it up. I'll post it up later. But I remember very vividly that he kind of pretty much left the game because he hurt his hand or something, and it was kind of a hard bump. He just didn't recover from it. He had his pub as well. He owned his bar there for a little while, but I think he's best known for being the road companion for Andre the Giant.
I think
Right up,
so. Was he
so
sick? I didn't know he was even sick. I just all of a sudden I heard he passed away one day. Well, I didn't know he was battling illness, so I'm not sure.
to be fair, I don't know myself. I just know, I've just been reading the tributes, and he was very beloved by everybody, it seems.
You haven't heard one bad word about the guy. That says a lot about his character.
No, 100%. He was a solid guy. I think he wore his sleeve on his, wore his
Heart
heart
on
on
his
his sleeve.
sleeve. Yeah.
Just a genuine guy, from what I understand, from the interviews that I've seen with him and what have you in the past. Pretty solid guy. Unfortunately,
Great career.
Earl, though, unfortunately, will be known as a guy who got fired from the WWE for selling merch out of the back of his car with his brother Dave, the other referee. Um, But Earl did go on to TNA after that, and he also his son referees too in AEW
Really?
now. Yeah, his son
Yeah.
actually started off in WWE, and basically,
Didn't know that.
yeah, he was in TNA for a while there. After WWE, he ended up in TNA, and then I think he did a little bit of work for AEW at one point
Oh, okay.
near the very end. So our condolences to the families, the friends, and everyone who were close to these two fellas. You know what? Thank you very much for giving us all the memories and the good times. And
Both long and storied careers. Nothing.
long story careers, yeah, definitely. Maybe we should take a look deeper into these guys and do a show about them. Just to kind of give them a little bit of a rub and whatnot. And
I'm sure it'd be pretty interesting what we'd uncover when you really start. The matches they've done, their
yeah,
career.
no, for sure, for sure. All right. Well, that being said, on to the show. So let's start off here, man. Let's talk about Monday Night Raw. We're 2 weeks out from Money in the Bank in Las Vegas. Bianca Belair comes out to start the show. She talks about, Rhea Ripley being injured. I still don't know how she got injured, and I don't know where the injury happened. I couldn't find it
Now, is
anywhere.
it legit or is it a work?
It's pretty much legit based on the fact that they decided to have a fatal 5-way match, right? I mean,
Yeah.
um, she comes out, she talks about, Rhea being injured and unable to go, but that's okay. She's ready to go regardless of who it is. And she herself announces that they're gonna have a 5-woman fatal 5-way, I guess, to determine the next contender here for her, I guess, for her at Money in the Bank. So as she's talking, each and every one of them starts to come out. So Becky comes out first, and then Liv comes out, and then I believe no, sorry, Becky comes out first. Asuka then comes out, and then Liv Morgan comes out, and then Alexa Bliss comes out, and then Carmella comes out. So those are the 5 women that are going to be competing in this match here, and that's the first match that we get tonight. Bliss and Morgan, quickly start off the match hot. They with a couple quick roll up pins that didn't go anywhere. They roll around for a little while. A couple of Asuka misses some kicks and bunches there for a little bit. The end basically comes with Carmella super kicking Liv before the pin. Now here's my thing, man. I think they released way too many women from the division. Because it looks really weak right now. I really, I'm not interested in seeing Carmella versus Bianca again. I mean that happened last summer. All last summer, that's all you got.
They must have some new women coming up from NXT that they want to give a chance to, most likely.
Well, they're gonna figure something out because right now the Raw women's roster is very, very thin. I think SmackDown does have the better roster right now.
Yeah.
It's the same 5 bloody women constantly. I mean, okay, Doudrop and Nikki Ash as well, who weren't even involved in this. But giving Carmella this, I mean, it just seems kind of, I don't know. I don't want to watch her wrestle.
No, you don't care for her.
I don't. I really don't care for her in ring at all. And it was evident again, when I was watching this fight, there was a couple spots there where, and respect to her. I'm not saying it in a bad or negative way at all.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
She's doing awesome work otherwise, but I just don't think she's at the level of an Asuka, Becky Lynch. I think Liv Morgan is better than her.
I agree with you.
In terms of in-ring performance, and that's saying a lot because Liv isn't that far, removed. I personally think Alexa should have gotten this. It's a fresh challenge. She hasn't fought anyone, she hasn't fought Bianca yet. She hasn't had that match. I mean, I was looking forward to watching her and Rhea go at it, to be fair. Just the size and the power there that could be involved. But I don't know, man. Right now that pay-per-view just lost a little something in my opinion.
Maybe they're trying to give Carmelo that chance. You want a chance, you want to push, you want to bump up, you got to step up and improve your performance. Maybe they're just trying to give her that one chance,
She had that chance all summer, man. I'm sorry.
I know.
She
a second chance. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. But so anyways, that starts it off. Becky is so angry, by the way. She's so angry that before they go to commercial, they show her backstage arguing with Adam Pearce about something. It's an audible. because we're going to
Speaking
commercial.
of Adam Pearce, what do you think of the guy? I don't think he's, I don't know, not my kind of Raw manager, I guess you could say. I don't know. What do you think of him? Do you like him?
I do like him. I mean, I think I like him because I used to watch him wrestle. I mean, he's a former NWA World Champion himself.
Yeah.
You know, I
I'm
think
not
this was
saying he's bad, but when I look at like, William Regal or Bischoff as managers for Raw, I mean, it's a whole other level, right? But he's not doing bad. It's not think it's that great personally, but that's my take.
I think he's gotten better over time. I think there's still room for improvement for him in terms of what he can bring to the table. But I think he's gotten more comfortable with that position and that role, that character role. So, I mean, yeah, maybe it's a work in progress. I can understand what you're saying, but I personally don't have any problem with him.
Yeah,
I
no,
think
fair
he's
enough.
okay.
I'm not saying he's bad. It's
Yeah.
not my company,
But he's really not a manager. He's more of a spokesman. I mean,
yeah,
if
it's
anything,
true.
right?
They didn't give that official title of Raw General Manager. It's
Yeah,
kind of,
yeah, exactly. I mean, and he's covering basically the whole brand,
yeah.
right? He's
No,
on
fair enough.
both shows, right? So from that perspective, it's kind of he's not a manager. He's just basically saying, I got this notice. He's basically that fucking raw computer, but a real person,
Yeah, the Raw computer. Yeah.
right?
Good.
The computer manager. We come back from commercial, and now we know what's going on. Becky's upset that she's not in Money in the Bank, and she demands, I want to be in. I want to be in. She's just the girl version of Seth Rollins. It seems like,
Seems that way.
but I mean, it makes sense. They are a couple. So, eventually, Adam says, "Okay, fine. I'll give you a match against Asuka again." So in more than a month, we get these two again for the fourth or fifth time. Winner goes on to Money in the Bank. So she's happy. She goes, and guess who's here, man? Guess who comes out unannounced? Vinnie Mac. Vinnie Mac makes an appearance on Raw, and he basically comes out and says, "This is episode 1517, the most watched episodic TV show in history, going on pretty much next year, I think April or something like that. Around that time, somewhere there, we're going to have 30 years of Monday Night Raw." And he talks about 20 years of those being dominated by one John Cena, who's coming back next week.
I love it. I can't wait to see him back, man. As I've gotten a little bit older, and maybe because my kid likes him a lot, I'm really starting to appreciate what he's done. Maybe it was when I seen him at SummerSlam, I've seen how many fans that he has. I don't know, but
the guy's affected a lot of lives. I mean, to be really honest, I mean,
I always ask people, what is the hate about John Cena? He looks good. He's built great on the mic. I'm not saying he's the best in-ring guy, but he's not that bad. What's the hate about him? Jealousy? Well, why do people hate him?
I think for the fact, because he never turned. People get bored of it, right? Like, why do people start booing Hogan?
Yeah, but I see a lot of these indie guys. Oh, Cena sucks, but I don't know. I don't know what sucks about him. I
think the people on the indie scenes that don't like him are the ones that probably are better wrestlers than he is.
Yeah, there's better wrestlers in John
Cena. Right. But what I'm saying is ultimately the hate is coming from people who don't believe, that he deserves that spot, not knowing how hard he's worked.
But when I hear guys like, I know I totally agree with you, and when I hear indie guys say that, I say, well, wait a minute. Look at the shirts that he sells. Look at the tickets that he sells. Your favorite guy, Eddie Kingston, ain't selling out. Eddie Kingston could put 1,000 people in an arena. John Cena will sell out a place. I mean, come on. Just for an example, I'm just using him because he's a popular on the indie scene, right? Like, I don't get it.
I think it's a lot of misconception. Oh, Cena buries guys. Cena does this. Cena does that, right? I mean, wasn't it just a couple weeks ago? What was that guy? Somebody call your mama. That big fat dude with the mohawk he used to.
Oh, Brodus Clay.
Brodus Clay. There you go. Thank you. Oh man, that hip shake thing he used to do.
Mm-hmm.
Brodus Clay was talking a couple of weeks ago. He was doing a different show, another podcast, and he was mentioning, regardless of what anybody says about John Cena, he'll never believe them because he knows what kind of man he is. So basically, it was WrestleMania, and Brodus was supposed to go on against whoever he was supposed to fight.
Yep.
and the match before or the night overall just kind of ran long, right? And this was the one where he was going to fight Miz, or the first Rock one, the first Rock one. So this would have been 28, yeah, 28, and they basically told Brodus, who was standing in Gorilla, and Cena was standing there because they were going on next. They were the main event, right? And they basically said, "Oh, sorry, man, we can't do your match. We're running against time here." So Cena goes, "Oh, I got to go to the camp." And he goes, "How long, do you think, should I? It's probably take about 6, 9 or 9 minutes." Bros looks at him, 6. Okay, great. I'll be back. So Cena went to the washroom to allow Brodus Clay and his opponent to have their match.
Yeah. But I mean, that's a good point. Everybody, that story is a good story. But like you see, like he does all the Make-A-Wish. He never misses every time he sees a kid, he takes a picture, he autographs, he never misses a show, he works hard. Like you got guys like, I won't mention any names, but you got guys getting DUIs and beating up their wives, pieces of garbage. And you got a great guy like this, they tear him down. It's mind-blowing to me, man. I don't get it.
Well, I mean, it's human nature.
No, I get it. But like he gets a lot of hate.
Yeah, he gets a lot of hate, but that's the best way to explain it, right? I mean, he doesn't stop. And I think the fact that he doesn't change his mantra, the fact he doesn't listen to any of the bullshit, even though he sees it and he hears it, he doesn't absorb it.
Yeah, he's a very positive guy.
Right? I am Bobby Sampson. I'm very positive as well. I try to do the same thing in life now. And I'll tell you what, brother man, be true to yourself, be true to who you want to be, and nothing else matters. The rest of it is just white noise around you.
Yeah, no.
Right? And I think it's hard. It's a hard mantra to follow. I'm not saying that's his exact mantra.
Yeah, but that's basically what he does. He turns all the bullshit
right.
positive.
Right. And that's all I am trying to do. And I know that that's what you're trying to do. And that's what this podcast is trying to do, is just bring out the positive in everything.
Absolutely.
Right. Ultimately, there's so much hate and nonsense and people wanting to talk garbage about other people and other things. We here at Samp&Chance don't want to be those guys.
No.
So we salute guys like John Cena. Are they perfect? No. Are they somewhat eccentric? Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah. He's got some weird habits, that dude. But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, he works his ass off.
Yeah.
He does everything he possibly can. 2 weeks ago, again, a couple of weeks ago, dude went to Amsterdam to surprise a young man with Down syndrome.
That's what I'm saying. That Make-A-Wish stuff that he does.
This wasn't even Make-A-Wish.
This showed up one of his fans.
One of his fans, the mother and her son had to flee Ukraine, and they took refuge in Holland and ended up outside of Amsterdam. And I don't know if it was the mother or someone close to the family sent out a tweet saying, this is a big fan of John Cena, blah, blah, blah. Gave a bit of the story. He saw it. His representative saw it. And next thing you know, dude's on a plane and hanging out with this kid in Amsterdam.
Change a kid's life.
Yeah, and he doesn't talk, unfortunately. I mean, if you go back and look at the video, I highly recommend it. It's really cool.
I didn't know about that. Check it out, though.
Yeah, go check it out. It's really cool. It's funny because you look at the young man and, you're thinking, okay, you should be more excited, but that's his illness. Unfortunately, he just doesn't have that expression. But on inside, oh man, he must just be doing cartwheels.
Yeah, that'd be just think about if we were his age. How old is this kid? Like 10?
To be fair, man, he looked like he was 15, 16 years old.
Okay. So
he looked much older than that. But regardless of the fact, I mean, I think our
that'd be like me meeting Shawn Michaels or Hulk Hollywood Hogan or something. You know what I mean? When I was that age, it'd be amazing,
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, I totally agree. Meeting Triple H or something like that at the age of 15, 16. Undertaker.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty crazy, man. So what do you make out of Vinnie Mac here, man? Friday night appearance and now a Monday appearance as well, back to back.
Everybody know I ain't going anywhere. I'm here. Finish your investigation. I'll take back over and I'll tell my daughter I'm back, step down, and away we go. Yeah. Here's the thing, some of these people that fake outrage, what did Vinnie do wrong? Okay, yes, he had an affair. Okay, that's wrong. However, it was consensual. he didn't rape anybody. He didn't sexually assault her. So what happened is the friend of this lady who he had the affair with emailed WWE head office or the board, and somebody got a hold of another investigating it. A couple other non-disclosure agreements are also supposedly have happened with John Laurinaitis. I don't know who else. Only the problem will be, did Vince give her a raise after he slept with her out of their money, and did he pay the $3 million hush money from the profits or from his own personal account? If it's from his personal account, he did nothing wrong. NDAs happen all the time. All these celebrities, all these musicians, they bang chicks around the world and they sign this. So
I didn't know that was a thing. I'll bang you, but you got to sign this document and never talk about
because they don't want the fallback. Like example, Deshaun Watson, he just settled out of court out of 24 accusers today. I don't know if you heard this. 20 of them paid him.
Well, he's got Cleveland Brown money now. So
what's that?
He's got Cleveland Brown money now.
So, I mean,
so hold on. So what case do any of these women have? Okay, in the case of Deshaun Watson, help me understand. So this guy had 24 women.
So he has actually 66 total. 24 have filed the criminal complaint. So basically what he was doing is going on Instagram. He was traveling around and bringing them to hotel rooms or wherever he would be. Say, hey, I want a professional massage, blah, 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 blah. And then he would take his towel off and say, do this, do that. Some did it, some didn't. He was aggressive about it. And, once one makes the case, the rest started snowballing. I mean, where there's smoke, there's fire. Come on. These girls have never even met each other. So he should be suspended for a couple of years for that, because they're going against, even though criminally he's not being charged, civilly he is, but NFL has a code of conduct and they got to get rid of him for that. He violated it.
Yeah, what do you think about it? I mean, if that was the case, the NFL would be non-existent pretty much. I think there'd be enough guys in the league for one team.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what this went on for like 16 months. He looked through his followers, I guess. And
well, I guess, you get away with it. It becomes easier and easier, right?
Yeah. And he never thought it would snowball. I'm sure he was aggressive. I'm sure he was inappropriate. I'm sure of that. These guys aren't used to hearing no. He's like, he's probably thinking, I'm Deshaun Watson. I'm a millionaire. Like, you don't want me, baby? Like, these are these guys' mentality to think. But some of the fake outrage that I see on the internet about Vince is like, it was a consensual affair. I'm not saying that is the right thing to do, but he didn't hurt anybody physically. He didn't rape her. He didn't assault her. But these guys with their fake outrage, the same guys that cheer on other celebrities who have been accused of raping girls and all kinds of bad shit. The same guys that cheer on Mike Tyson or Stone Cold. And it's like, but they're mad about Vinny. Like, come on, guys. Like,
okay, so I'm just playing devil's advocate, okay? Mm-hmm. So last night, Friday night and Monday night, you got close to maybe 15 to 18,000 people in both arenas, correct?
Something like that, yeah.
They cheer him like he's a hero.
Love it.
Right? Okay, but that's knowing now that he had an affair, he cheated on his wife, blah, blah, blah. But they're still cheering him. So how do you feel about that then? Do you think that...
Well, I think a lot of people, the fans are smart to the business now. A lot of people know, supposedly, they wasn't together with his wife for 10 years. They live in different places. They have open marriage, supposedly.
Yeah.
So it wasn't, in Vince's mind, he was doing nothing wrong. He just said, I don't need the scandal. Get the lawyers, sign this. I'll pay you some hush money. Go away. We don't need the scandal. I don't want the affair coming out. That's probably why he did it. I'm not saying it's right, but he didn't physically harm her. It was consensual. I mean, a lot of fake.
Based on his schedule, the how much he works and whatnot, where does he have time to bang a chick?
In the office, man.
I guess so, lunchtime, right?
Because Vinny's not going to a random hotel with random women. He'd be photoed everywhere he goes. So I'm assuming in the office.
I guess so. But hey, let's get back to Raw here. There's still a bit of more show to kind of cover here. So Riddle comes out now.
Mm.
Yeah. So we've had one match, and we've had a backstage segment, and we've had Vinnie Mac come out. Now Riddle's out before his match, a Money in the Bank qualification match against Omos. He comes out and he talks about wanting to get vengeance on Roman still for what he did to his buddy Randy. And then he talks about the Money in the Bank, saying it's a long shot, but I'm just going to pause here first. Sorry about that. I had a cough. He comes out and he talks about Money in the Bank, and he wants to get in particularly so that he can beat up and hit Seth Rollins in the back of the head with the ladder for what he did to his friend Cody. Out comes MVP. and Omos. And the first thing MVP says, man, are you high? If you think you have a chance against Omos here, back and forth, everything is everything. They come in, match gets started. Quick one, man. Quick match.
Yeah.
So Riddle selling the injury, the spear from Roman still from Friday. His ribs are all taped up. As hard as he tries, man, he tries with the kicks, the punches, and everything he possibly can. But ultimately, Omos gets him with the choke slam to end the match. And that was it. Now, Riddle's on a bit of a losing streak here, man, it seems like. Since he's lost the titles, he has not really won much. If
No.
anything, I think he's won one match.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with that. Orton is legitimately hurt, so maybe Riddle's next man up to go against Reigns.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Riddle already had his chance, right? And technically speaking,
That's when they brought Brock in.
Well, they brought Brock in because I think Orton was supposed to go at SummerSlam.
Yeah,
right?
I'm surprised they didn't give Riddle a chance to have a match with Orton. Maybe they don't with Reigns. Maybe they don't think he's a big enough draw yet.
Well, they did on Friday Night SmackDown. Oh, he's big enough draw. He can do it. Trust me.
No, I know,
think
but
he can
why?
do it.
Why? Like, I get it, but like, so why not let Riddle do Reigns at SummerSlam? Why bring in Brock? You know, it's that big blockbuster match.
Well, the thing is, he's supposed to fight him at Money in the Bank. That was the initial plan. Money in the Bank was supposed to be him. SummerSlam was supposed to be Randy Orton. And then the Glasgow show or the Wales show in UK was supposed to be either Drew McIntyre, technically, but I don't know. I really don't know what they're doing, man. I don't. I think a lot of it has to do with Roman's schedule. The guy's barely been around since he signed his new deal.
Yeah, he's taken a. I don't blame him for the deal. I'm just wondering why wouldn't they give Riddle a chance to headline a big pay-per-view? Riddle's never headlined a pay-per-view before, a big one. So why not give him a chance?
I don't know. Maybe
That's
he's
what
not
I'm
ready.
saying. I don't think
maybe he's not ready.
That's what I mean. I don't think he's a big enough draw yet. Maybe next year, but they want that big blockbuster, big marquee name at SummerSlam, right? And that's
SummerSlam's different. I mean, that's why they were going to do it at Money in the Bank. I could see him at any other pay-per-view. You know, maybe in a couple of years he can be ready for one of the big four, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Right, but I mean, guys like him, Austin Theory, I think Riddle, Theory. God, there's only two pillars that I can think of that are the future of the WWE. He's got to come back. Let's see what he looks like when he comes back. And he's been around for a while, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? I mean, he's kind of been around. When I talk about the pillars, the future, the guys that we're going to be talking about, like, I think it's between Riddle and Austin Theory that's going to be the next big guy.
I think so too. Who else could be in there?
Well, that's what I'm trying to. Well, you got to think they got to be under 20 or under, in their 20s. They got to be under 30.
Yeah.
Right. So who do you think? Maybe Braun Breaker could be another guy. We got to look at NXT a little bit here as well to see who's coming up from there. Right. I mean, you're looking at possibly 3 potential guys, in my opinion, right now that are the future of this company.
Big stars.
And I think it's going to come down to Riddle and Theory, honestly.
Maybe one of the Street Profits guys could break off and be a singles. The high flyer one, is that Angelo or Montez?
No, Montez. Yeah, Montez possibly could.
Man, but, nobody can jump like that guy, man, and fly like he can fly with such ease.
No, 100%.
So maybe Montez Ford, if he gets a singles run, could maybe do it.
Possibly. Who knows? Like I said, I mean, anything is possible. But like I said, right now, that's who I kind of see. And if they get MJF, ooh,
in a couple of years, they could do a lot with him, make him a real big star.
Right? So if you think about that roster, I mean, you got Theory, and mind you, anything can happen in the next couple of years, right? But I mean, the way it stands right now, I think it's Riddle and Theories. And MJF, if he shows up, man, you got your tripod right there, your trifecta of dudes who can basically take you into the next decade.
Then I'm calling Montez Ford as a long shot. Long shot.
All right, man.
But he got the skill for it.
All right, so June 21st, listeners, 2022, Samp&Chance make their predictions for the 4 pillars of the WWE. So in 10 years, when we're doing episode 3000, we'll come back and revisit this episode and see who was right.
He's around, yeah.
There you go. Seth comes out after the match here. So you got Riddle still laid out at the ring, and Seth comes out and beats him up, throws him out of the ring. Seth does his cackling laugh, talks about Money in the Bank, says how that no one's on his level, and he's probably the only guy who can beat up Roman Reigns, and the only one who probably has beaten up Roman Reigns. I mean, yeah, so that's it. And then Riddle tries to come back and get a sneak attack in there, but I guess he's just too weak, and he gets curb stomped by Seth to end the segment. Where do you see Riddle going?
I don't know what's going on here because Orton's hurt. I don't know what they're doing here. It's all over the place, kind of. Brock's back. I don't know what they're going to do with Riddle. What do you think is going to happen here?
Well, potentially, I see a feud with Seth Rollins now.
Yeah,
and there's been some real heat between those two guys in the past, like real heat. That goes back a little bit. So, maybe they patch things up, or they're just going to be professional and work together. But I know Seth was not a big fan of his, personally. He's got that lead. The other one I keep thinking about is that he keeps losing. Remember, we talked about that a couple of minutes ago. He keeps losing matches using Orton's moves.
They're going to have a feud when Orton's ready to go. How long is Orton out for? I'm not even sure.
I don't. If he's having back surgery, who knows?
Yeah.
Right. And he's a little bit older now, so I don't think,
Is Orton 40?
Yeah, he's in his 40, 41 now. So
still looks like $1 million though.
No, 100%, right? But I mean, at that age, still recovery back to, right? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
So he's out for a little bit, but I mean, that's a program ready to go. They just have to launch it and let it run, and you gotta, yeah, that's set program right there. But I mean, until then, I think he's got Seth. You got what? Well, yeah, Seth. Just keep building him, man. Just keep building him into a face because they don't have any faces.
Yeah, no, Riddle's have to be a good feud. Both guys can work. Riddle is always in smack talk, and Brock, he always wants to, challenge Brock, but Brock said he'll never wrestle.
Yeah. So your boy Theory comes out to do another pose down.
I love when they do that, man. It's hilarious.
Right? Yeah, so he's got his little podium there. He's got his bottle of baby oil, and he's got his little microphone connected to him. Comes out, starts doing his poses and talking shit about Bobby Lashley, and the crowd starts to cheer, and they're like, yeah, that's right, cheer for me. Unknown to him, Bobby Lashley standing right behind him.
That was good.
Yeah, Bobby Lashley spears him, sprays oil in his face, throws him out of the ring, and that's basically the end of the segment with Bobby Lashley telling him, I'm not asking you, I'm telling you that I'm going to take this title. And we go to commercial, we come back, and we find out during the commercial break that Bobby Lashley will be in a gauntlet match. And if he wins this gauntlet match, he then will have a chance at the U.S. title at Money in the Bank. Jey Uso versus Angelo Dawkins, one half of the Street Profits, the power half, I guess you could say. But this guy can move too.
Oh yeah, for a big boy, yeah, he's really laying his feet.
Standard match. They're just kind of building up the potential, tag team title unification match between these two teams. Dawkins wins with Jey Uso flying into the sky high and getting the pin, and that's basically it. The Elias Ezekiel segment. This is crazy. So basically you see them both together backstage talking, like, okay, great. You understand how they did that. Technology is amazing. And basically then it starts off, man. Elias is in the ring. Like, Elias is there live. Again, makeup artists are amazing. Anyone can put a beard on. So, I mean, obviously that's what they did, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So then you basically get Kevin Owens coming out as Elias is about to start to sing the song and saying, no, this is not happening, not believing any of this. And, basically Ezekiel shows up on the big screen on the Titantron and basically says, hey, man, what more do you need to see? I'm here. He's in the ring. What? And he doesn't believe him. He tries to attack Elias, who hits him with the flying knee. And then he gets smashed with a guitar. And I think the one thing I forgot to mention here was the name Elrod. So Kevin Owens goes to say that I don't care if it's Ezekiel, I don't care if it's Elias, I don't care if it's your other brother Elrod. The guy's just so frustrated. He just kept shouting the name Elrod,
Yeah,
Elrod.
that was good, dude.
That was pretty funny. Now, do you know anyone named Elrod?
No, nobody. You?
Elrod Hubbard, the founder of Scientology.
Oh wow, he's a pretty weird dude. Then that's some
They're
weird stuff.
all, yeah, that's some weird shit, man.
But
Anyway,
whatever it is, it's working because Tom Cruise got the #1 movie in the world right now. So something's going on there.
I tell you what, man. One of these days, I'd love to sit down and talk shit about Scientology. I think it's just a show in itself. I mean, the horror stories and
One of the greatest works of all time.
it's still working, man. It's
You
still
ever see that
going.
Queen's Carrie, whatever her real name is, Leah Remy or whatever?
Yeah, she's breaking it down, man. I mean, it's not a pleasant place to be, in my opinion.
No.
I mean, each of their own and what they want to believe, and I respect that. But I mean, you give me knowledge on what you guys believe and what your views are and how you operate. You can't blame me for having an opinion. And my opinion is that I think it's a bunch of malarkey.
It's 100% bullshit. But we'll get into that one day.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so let's get to the gauntlet match. Third match of the night. And lots happened here, huh? And we've only had 3 matches so far. Bobby versus the Alpha Academy. Shoosh. And Otis come out. Basically, Chad Gable starts the match and he taps out via the hurt lock within 5 minutes. Otis is the second guy in the gauntlet. A bit more of a struggle for Bobby, but he gets him and he ends up sparing him. But then his little buddy jumps in the ring and causes Bobby to win by disqualification. The third man in, can you guess who it is?
Austin Theory?
Yeah, and you're smart. So Austin Theory comes in, gets a couple punches in, tries to do the A-Town down. A cool name for a move, eh?
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't work, and Bobby wins with the cradle roll-up. So Bobby Lashley, Austin Theory, U.S. title match.
That'll be a good one. I'm looking forward to that.
If Theory's going to hold on to it, he has to win by disqualification, or he has to lose by disqualification. I don't think you can pin him clean.
No?
Well, if Theory's going to pin Bobby Lashley clean, that takes a lot of shine off Bobby Lashley, in my opinion, in terms of his power and whatnot.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point.
Right? I mean, if Austin Theory beat up Omos and got a pin on Omos, then I can appreciate him beating Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, no, fair point. You're probably right. Disqualification or hit him when the ref's not looking or something.
Something has to happen that way, right? I mean, it has to be pretty blatant for him to win fairly, to walk away with the title.
Yeah.
All right. Miz TV with AJ. Another guy that's kind of in between programs and kind of lost right now, in my opinion, is AJ Styles.
Kind of, yeah. AJ's getting up there. What is he, 45, 46?
Yeah, he is. But I mean, that being said, I mean, Miz starts to take shots at him for having a losing streak, take shots at him for this and that. And, you guys started had your feud with the Judgment Day, and one of your partners actually became a member of the Judgment Day, and you're losing all the time. And I guess AJ responds with saying that Miz has popcorn balls, which is something that's kind of ongoing now. And they're really trying to build it up, eh? They're trying to promote the whole popcorn balls thing.
Yeah, why not? If it sticks.
Yeah. So basically, I guess he finally gets under AJ's nerves. The Miz does. AJ attacks him, and guess who comes in from behind and attacks him? Tommaso Ciampa. I guess this is a new role now, eh? Like to kind of attack someone from behind. But it seems like he's kind of lining up with the Miz here. Interestingly enough,
seems that way. Going to give him a little bit of finally gets to get off NXT, get on the big show. So
maybe right. So we're given the gift of Tommaso Ciampa versus AJ Styles, which would normally be a pretty good match, but again, just one of those matches put together really quick.
Yeah.
Phenomenal forearm to win the match, and a style clash to the Miz, who tries to attack him from behind after the match. Becky versus Asuka, the last match of the night. Here we go. This is to determine who's going to get a spot in Money in the Bank. I don't know how to describe the match. It's basically, you've seen it 4 to 5 times already this last month. Asuka wins with the kick, and he gets the pin. Also, it's going to Money in the Bank. The show basically ends with the camera not focused on Asuka, who won the match, but Becky Lynch, who is beside herself, actually in a state of shock.
Yeah.
Interesting dynamic, because she's not being able to get anything going for a little bit here herself. So it's kind of cool to see her character having to struggle, considering she came back to nothing but titles.
Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen with her next, what they're going to do with her, but what do you think?
I don't know, man. Like I said, I mean, there's not much for her to do on Raw unless they start bringing up some more talent. I mean, you look at the SmackDown roster right now. You got Raquel Gonzalez, you got Shayna Baszler, you got Natty there, you got Shotzi Blackheart there, you got Aaliyah there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not saying they're all great or anything, but I mean, I don't know, dude. Like, there's no one on Raw.
I'm
They
sure
need-
they'll shake it up sooner than later. Maybe they got some NXT girls coming up or something.
Well, I mean, okay, Charlotte's on her honeymoon. She's due back soon, right? But what, do you automatically put her right back into the top picture again? See, that's almost getting boring too.
Yeah.
Sorry to say. Like, I mean, I think I love what Becky's doing because she's showing her character dealing with adversity. And that's just going to help her become a better competitor and a better performer overall. Where I see constantly that Charlotte, she loses the title and then she disappears for a month or two. Then she comes back and wins the title. Then she disappears. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
I know
kind of
what
like, it just feels like Becky's putting in that work, right?
you're saying.
And
Hard work. He's always there.
yeah. So from that perspective, I kind of hope they bring something up, because they need to do something on Raw. I'm sorry. I'll be honest, this Raw wasn't that great.
It was
In my,
average.
it was average at best. To be fair, it didn't excite me. I think watching Carmella win in the very beginning match, at the beginning of the match, kind of turned me off. And it just kind of set the mood for the show for me, because I really didn't want Carmella to win.
I hate to say it, in my opinion, the highlight of Raw was Vinnie Mac coming out.
Well, it was the highlight only for the fact that no one expected it.
That
know,
Raw
we-
did like almost 2 million views, 1.9 million. It was huge.
No, for sure, right? The man makes it work. Him coming out on Fox, and I don't know what the ratings for the show were that night, but I'm sure it was
Much
probably the highest rated show on their network that day.
Oh yeah, no, Vinny knows what he's doing. He knew
Right.
he needs to out, show up that he's still strong, he's still here. And I'll tell you guys right now, Vinny's not going nowhere. He's got 80% voting power. He's not going anywhere. He's stepping aside due to professionalism. Let the investigation run its course, and he'll be. Anybody that thinks that Steph and Triple H are taking over is not happening.
Well, you know what I would like to see?
And I don't want Steph or Triple H to take it over. I want Vinny running the show as long as he can.
No, 100%. But I think if Steph takes over, I think it'd be kind of cool, because then you can have her run that, and I think Heyman would be better running creative, anyways.
Nah, he tried that with ECW. He didn't get very far.
Yeah, well, that was a long time ago, but I think he'd be pretty good now too. And you know what? Stephanie, Triple H, and Paul Heyman all get along really, really well.
Well, they get along great, but none of them are running the show. Vinny will keep this role till he dies, or he's in super bad health.
No, for sure.
I've always said it for years. Stephanie and Triple H are not getting Raw like WWE. He'll sell it before he gives it to them. He's got a big ego, and he knows, like, he loves Triple H, but he will not marry into this and get his fortune empire. Vinny's not that.
I disagree. I think Stephanie's going to take it over.
I hope she doesn't.
I think she will.
Maybe, but not for a long time, dude.
I have not seen you since our Vegas trip, so I still owe you a 6-pack of Diet Coke Zero, which I haven't forgotten. Why don't we add to that? Say another case of our preferred beverage.
Sure.
To see who takes over the WWE.
Well, Vinny's going to run it for at least 10 years.
No. I'm not saying anytime soon, but I mean, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, I think this is an indicator of what direction Vince will go in.
And another thing, though, even if he does appoint her, let's just say he dies in 8 years and on his deathbed, it's a staff you take over. I think the board of directors don't want her there. I think they go in a whole new direction away from McMahon's and do. I don't know what they would do, but I don't think they'd want her in there.
Well, I mean, let's hope it's not for a very long time. I guess so. Let's find out in our 50s ourselves. But anytime who knows, man? McMahon, I mean, his mother lived to 100 and something.
Mhm. He could just
So,
sell it off one day and say, you know what, up all your asses. Here's
you
your
know,
piece of pie and goodbye. You never know
yeah,
what to.
like I said, anything can possibly happen. Who knows, right? I mean, 2020 has already been chock full of surprises, both
2022,
in,
you mean? Yeah.
or sorry, 2022 has been chock full of surprises across the board in
Mhm.
terms of all the stuff that's been happening in boxing and wrestling and UFC, you
You
name it,
never know
man.
what's going to happen next.
It's going to be. Speaking of pay-per-views coming up, we got AEW's Forbidden Door, their joint effort with New Japan Wrestling. We have to talk about this really quick.
Yeah, in
Uh,
Chicago, right, Sam?
yeah, it's going to be pretty cool, man. So here's a rundown of the matches that we know so far. Okay, so you got Will Ospreay fighting versus Orange Cassidy. I tell you what, I think this is going to be a really cool match.
I'm looking forward to that match. I love Orange Cassidy. He's
Yeah,
hilarious.
I love Orange Cassidy and I love Will Ospreay too. If you haven't had a chance to see his work, if I had to recommend one match in particular, I would say him versus Ricochet about 5, 6 years ago.
Never
Just
seen it.
before, yeah, just before Ricochet came to WWE. Phenomenal. This guy's amazing. He's a solid worker. A guy who's vowed to never come to the WWE, has no use for it. Happy
Well,
doing what he's doing. He's making good money. I think he'd
I
be.
always find it funny when guys say that, right? I don't want to go to WWE. I don't read him, and maybe he's making good money, but to me, that's like a guy saying, you know what? I don't want to go to the major leagues. I don't want to go to the NFL. I don't want to go to the NHL. Okay, dude. Well, nobody knows who you are. Besides the hardcore wrestling fans, nobody knows who Will Ospreay is. I'm not knocking the guy. He's a good worker, but that's the reality of it.
But you know what though?
If he's happy with himself, good for him. But
He's one of those guys, and there's maybe 5, 6 of them in the world of professional wrestling, in my opinion, that are making great livings and good money
no, he's
outside.
making good money.
No, I know what you mean. So maybe that's the reason why. Maybe that's why he doesn't feel the need to go to WWE. He doesn't need to work that grind. He doesn't need to work that schedule. He doesn't need to push the media juggernaut that is
No,
the
I get it. I get what
WWE.
he's saying, and he's making a good living. But my whole thing is like that's like Tom Brady saying, you know what? I'll go play in the arena league. I'm not playing the NFL. I'm making a couple $100,000. I don't need to be play these guys. Like, come on,
No,
dude.
I get it. I get it. I just maybe he doesn't want to be controlled. A
Fair
lot of
enough.
them don't want to be controlled,
The
right?
best should wrestle the best, and the best should fight the best. Not,
No, I get it. But does the WWE have the best?
I think so. Their best 5 guys are better than AEW's best 5 guys.
Who is WWE's best 5 guys?
Well, are you talking like star power or wrestling wise? Because I mean, if you want to do that,
We're
you got
talking. Let's
Lesnar.
talk about wrestling.
You got well, I'll just say overall package: Lesnar, Reigns, Orton. I guess I'll throw your boy Cody Rhodes in there, and you can even throw Riddle in there. All the best guys in AEW are all former WWE guys.
Okay.
I'm not
Okay.
saying AEW hasn't created a star yet. Still hasn't made a star.
Well, they tried with Hangman Page, but they basically gave up on that poor
But
bastard.
like they got Punk and Bryan. These are guys in their mid 40s.
And Bryan's injured.
40 names.
And Punk is injured.
And Punk's injured, and Bryan's old. He still works good. But like, who are the new stars coming up? Because we just said WWE's creating Riddle and Theory and Montez Ford, but AEW, who they got next?
Well, okay, Orange Cassidy.
Okay.
Sammy Guevara.
Yeah, but nobody knows who he is, though.
Yeah, but that's the thing, man. I mean, you keep saying that, but
you're talking hardcore wrestling fans. I'm talking the regular guys that I see in the gym. If I say who's Orange Cassidy and Sammy, they'll say who. But if I say Riddle and Theory, they'll know who they are. At least see, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not knocking their skill.
But But here's the thing, man. There's people who only watch AEW, don't watch WWE, and wouldn't know any of these guys' names.
Well, yeah, it's like a lot of people watch NFL. Most people watch NFL. Some people watch the CFL. CFL is still good football, but it's not the NFL. Same thing with AEW, how I see it. CFL they are, and NFL is WWE. At least right now, that might change one day.
Okay, well, I'll say this, man. I think the better wrestlers, even if you don't know their names or not, are all in AEW.
I don't think so myself, personally.
Overall, I'm not saying that WWE doesn't have great wrestlers. Don't get me wrong. But I'm saying if you take all their roster, both rosters, the nod has to go to wrestling. Yes, superstars goes to WWE, 100%. But in terms of wrestling, just pure wrestling.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Then it goes to AEW, hands down. When I want to watch wrestling, I watch AEW because I'm going to get wrestling, to be honest.
Yeah, it's got more of the indie feel. It's got
Yeah.
more. They do more matches,
Yeah.
right? But depends what you like.
IWGP New Japan Tag Team Champions, the United Empire against the Ring of Honor Champions FTR. This should be an interesting match. Winner takes both sets of titles. I think FTR wins it. Just based on the fact that it just adds to their resume. I love FTR. I hope they make their way back to the WWE. They're just a real fun team to watch. They're
Mhm.
this generation's Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard, man, the Brainbusters,
Great tag team. They were absolutely were.
right? So this is that, that's why I kind of look at them. Now, this match coming up here as well, Jericho, Guevara, and Minoru Suzuki versus Eddie Kingston, Wheeler Yuta, and Shoada Umino. Basically just put this match together, I feel, just to kind of give us, get everyone on the roster.
Yeah.
It really doesn't have anything. I mean, outside of the Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho feud that's kind of going on, really none of these guys are connected to anything or any way.
Yeah,
So,
just like get everybody on the card to give them a chance to be on the pay-per-view and see what happens.
yeah. Thunder Rosa will defend against Tony Storm for the AEW women's title. Another WWE girl that shouldn't have been let go, in my opinion. I think Tony Storm is an amazing worker.
Yeah,
I
she's
don't
good.
I don't get why she left or what happened there. Maybe we'll find out in years to come when she writes her tell all. She's in AEW now and she's fighting Thunder Rosa for the title. I think Thunder is going to take this. I haven't seen anyone kind of come into the promotion and win the title yet from anybody on their first go. So yeah, AEW All Atlantic title match. So they just releasing another title now. So they have their champion title. They have their, what else is there? TV title, the TBS TV title. And now this is their third individual title, the All Atlantic title. Miro versus Pac so far. And they'll face either Malachi Black or Penta. That will be determined on tomorrow, I guess, Wednesday on Dynamite, and a New Japan representative. So the winner of that will get the new title. Here's how I look at it. You got one, two, three, probably three WWE guys in here and one New Japan guy.
Yeah.
I think Malachi Black should win this just to add, because they're building that character pretty strong. If there's anyone that they've actually spent the time working and building that's come in from them, it's probably Malachi.
Yeah.
And I think that should just kind of keep it going. And, I think he should win that match. AEW Interim Championship for the Heavyweight Championship. Punk is still considered the champion. This is just an interim champion until he gets back. John Moxley against Tanahashi. Now, I don't know how familiar you are with Tanahashi. He's awesome.
I've never seen him wrestle.
Oh, you got to watch it, man. The Ace is all right. He is phenomenal. I love watching Tanahashi. Moxley probably wins this. You can't put the belt on Tanahashi.
No. It'd be interesting to see how these New Japan guys, what chemistry they have with the AEW guys, because kind of all throwing everything together, and hopefully it sticks. I mean, they are pros; it should be good, but it'll be interesting to see how this turns out.
Well, New Japan is no joke. They're legit. They've been around forever. And it's kind of cool to see what they're doing here. It's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a fun pay-per-view, but I mean, it's a wrestling fan pay-per-view. It's not a casual guy pay-per-view, right?
No, absolutely not.
So it's kind of cool to see them kind of working together and having all these guys come over from Japan.
Yeah.
If you ever get a chance, I really recommend this next year, January. You got to watch New Japan. Their what's that show called? Oh God, I'll look it up. Wrestle Kingdom. Yeah, phenomenal, man.
I never watched. I've seen bits and pieces of it, but I've never watched the whole thing.
Yeah, it's fun. It's really fun.
I like their style. Wrestle is stiff, man.
Yeah, I know. You gotta watch it, man. New Japan's really cool. I've been a big fan of it. I mean, if you think about it, all the guys that have come through New Japan, Dynamite Kid, Brock Lesnar, Hulk Hogan, you name it, Bret Hart, they all fought in Japan at one point.
I love the Japanese culture. I love their style of wrestling, and They love their baseball too, man. They
Yeah,
love it
no,
all.
for sure, man. They're pretty solid that way.
Mhm.
All right, Chance. What do you think, man? You got anything?
Yeah, I got something for you. Ready?
Yeah.
I want to hear Bobby Sampson's 5 most favorite broadcast journalists, in your opinion. For people that know that, that's like Bobby Heenan, Jerry the King Lawler, those type of guys. What do you
Any
got?
order? Any order?
Your 5 favorite, don't matter.
Okay, well, Jesse the Body. Um, Bobby Heenan, obviously. Jerry Lawler, obviously. There's two more, right?
Mhm.
You know what? Pat McAfee. I love him. I think he's awesome in terms of a modern day guy.
Yeah.
I think he's pretty solid. And Mick Foley when he was doing SmackDown.
It wasn't bad.
Yourself?
Well, Ventura, obviously, Bobby the Brain. It's a tough one, actually. Ventura,
Right.
Bobby the Brain. Myself, I like when Mike Tenay was doing it. I know he did play-by-play also, but he also had that role too. I just like his voice.
The
Where is
professor.
Mike Tenay, by the way? He should be commentating somewhere. He was
He's
great.
pretty much retired now, man. I mean, he was doing TNA for a while. After WCW, he went to TNA. He did that for a while. And after all that happened, he's kind of nowhere now.
I'm not his biggest fan. I mean, he's great. I did like Paul Heyman in that role. He was doing good with JR. And then obviously, what's that?
What about Taz?
Taz wasn't bad, but I take King over Taz. So those are my 5. Heenan, Ventura, Tenay, Heyman, and yeah.
So The Rock's been busy, eh? Before we kind of go to dark here, I just thought we just mentioned this really quick. The Rock has been busy over the last couple of days. He bought his mom a house.
Good for him.
Then he bought Tamina Snuka a car and a house.
Oh wow!
So yeah, check out his Instagram. It's pretty cool. I mean, the guy's generous, man.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he takes care of all the people that ever took care of him.
Made a lot of money. It's like you can pass that money out like we could pass out TikToks. It's nothing to him.
Well, he's the highest paid actor in Hollywood, right?
Yep.
God.
I don't think his acting is that great. I mean, it's good, but I don't know.
I mean,
I'm not knocking the guy. I'm a big Rock fan. I'm just saying, like, I don't know.
I think it's name.
Movie.
I think it's name recognition.
Yeah.
I think it's just his looks and just the way he acts normally. I mean, it's really hard to get, dragged into his charm.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense, he's The Rock. What can you do? Thank you, Mr. McMahon. Again.
Yeah. He just keeps doing those PEDs and keeps getting bigger and bigger as he gets older. He's the only guy I've ever known that gets more built in his 50s than he ever was in his 30s and 40s. And whatever drugs he's on, holy cow.
Well, whatever's working for him is working for him. And again, like I was just saying,
I hope he doesn't have a heart attack one day because the human body you can only put so much substance in your body. And he's a big time steroid user and PED user, HGH, whatever he uses, all the same. And he abuses the shit out of it.
Well, each to their own, man. I mean, he's living
his
best life.
The guy for he looks like $1 million. He's
huge.
Yeah.
And
he works so hard, but it's not natural. There's no way.
But again, you know what?
But I gotta tell like it is.
No, that's fine, man. Yeah. Big shout out to Vince McMahon. Thank you for introducing him to the world. Yeah, he doesn't get enough credit for all the guys that are super successful now because of him, eh?
Greatest wrestling mind of all time, and it's not even close. And the greatest wrestling promoter of all time. Nobody will ever top Vince's promoting or his genius creations. Don't get me wrong, he's had help and other guys have helped him, but at the end of the day, he makes a final call and look at the body of work.
No, 100%, man.
Amazing guy.
All right, brother. Well, I'll tell you what, let's wrap this one up. Dinners needs to be made, editings need to be done, and let's just get on with the rest of the evening here. So not much happening in the world of boxing this week. Pretty quiet weekend, I guess, in terms of big matches. There's always boxing.
Big announcement today. It's not official, but it's like 90%. Triple G and Canelo are going to be going down at the T-Mobile Arena on September 17th in the fight capital of the world, Sin City. So
yeah, I know that's really cool, man. Unfortunately, I wish it was at Allegiant or something a bit more affordable. But you know what? Let's cross that bridge when we get there. Mm-hmm. So yeah. we'll get back in touch with
Oh
everyone.
yeah,
here.
Andy Ruiz and Luis Ortiz announced a fight today, for September 4th, for the heavyweight scraps. That'd be a good one.
Yeah, finally. It should be,
Two big monsters tangling. So.
that dude hasn't fought in almost over a year, it seems like.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Ruiz, right? Yeah, he hasn't fought in a while. But yeah, we got Joshua and everyone coming up in August as well. But yeah, this weekend I can't think of anything that's really happening outside of this pay-per-view.
No, when's that Garcia fight? That's coming up soon.
That's July 9th or something like that.
Okay, yeah. So I don't think there's anything big this weekend.
No. I think everything starts to pick up again in July, but it's kind of weird. I mean, what am I going to do with my Saturday night? I don't know. But you know what? That's it for us, guys.
Well, you got to go to NEW, man.
That's on Friday, and I will be there.
Friday?
Yeah, I'm going to be there on Friday. I'm going to go check it out. It's at the Commodore. It's just about 10 minutes away from the house here, so I really have an excuse not to go.
Yeah,
so I'm going to go check out that show and let the world know that Samp&Chance are alive and well.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that. Yeah, definitely. All right, gang. That's it. That's it for another episode of Samp&Chance, episode 30 to be exact. I am Bobby Sampson, joined again, as always, with me, Mr. Chance Michaels.
And in the words of the great AC/DC, those who download, subscribe, like, and share the podcast, we salute you.
Absolutely, we salute you. And in the words of Ed Whalen, in the meantime and in between time, that's it for Samp&Chance. Thank you for letting us in your ears. Everybody enjoy the first day of summer and the rest of the summer. We'll be back with you guys soon. Have a great evening. Stay humble. Good night.